I'm Janine. This is KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and this is Get the Funk Out. Standing by to join me is Bishop Michael Curry, and he's going to share his new and very timely book, Love is the Way, Holding on to Hope in Troubling Times. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I looked at your book and I thought, we need this more than ever.
Yeah, I really do. We need it. I mean, the truth is, love really is the way. It really is. Now, the love that I'm talking about is not necessarily, it's not romantic love.
Sure.
It's not, I'm talking about the kind of love that's most frequently talked about in religious scriptures in the New Testament on Jesus, in the Hebrew scriptures. The Greek word that's used to translate it is often the word agape, which is a kind of love that is unselfish, sacrificial, that really does seek the good and the well-being of others as well as the self. This kind of love is about we, not just about me.
Yes.
The nice thing is when you get we, me is included.
You bet.
But when it's me, we is not necessarily included.
That's right.
And so this way as a way of life and a commitment to a way of life is the way of life that seeks the good and the well-being of others. And I wrote this book in part to share that I've actually encountered people who've really lived this way. They're normal human beings. They have all the fallibilities of human beings.
Sure.
But they are people who changed and affected my life. And I've seen some of them affect the life of society and the world, have been people who've been committed to this unselfish way of living for the good of us all.
And we need kindness and compassion right now. Even I always say, we're taught, don't talk to strangers. We need to talk to strangers. We need to open up our hearts and be kind.
We do. I mean, kindness is not weakness. See, that's a mistake. It's not weakness. It actually is a virtue, because true kindness is helping to improve the lot of everybody. It's actually helping. It's a social action step for the good. But the truth is, we do need this. Dr. King said a long time ago, we'll either learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we'll perish together as fools. The choice is ours, chaos or community. We can't, selfishness, self-centeredness. And I'm not talking about healthy self-esteem is part of love. Right. But self-centeredness, where I'm the center of the universe and you're the periphery, that is not going to work. That does not work in families. It doesn't work in a marriage. Anybody who wants to get married and be just as selfish as they want, that marriage will not last. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work in communities. It doesn't work in a nation. It doesn't work in a world. The truth is, love is the opposite of that kind of selfishness. Love actually seeks to include and embrace the other as well as the self. Definitely. And when that happens, I'm telling you, the people who have affected my life really profoundly have been people who have loved and loved me. And I've experienced their love and I've watched them love, and they've affected me. But also the people who've affected the world. Even as we're speaking, the nation is burying Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I know.
A woman who was committed not just to self alone, but to the good and well of women and girls and all people. Yes. She lifted all of us up because she wasn't self-centered. She used all of that intellectual power that she had. Yeah. She used it as an act of love. John Lewis, we just buried him a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
Yeah, the same thing.
Same thing.
Many of us enjoy freedoms that we didn't have because of it. There are people who have sacrificed for the right to vote. They didn't do it just for themselves.
That's right.
They did it so that we all might have that.
Yes.
I am convinced that there has been no good done by anybody in this world. There may be some accident or something like that as the result of selfishness, but there's a lot of good that is a result of unselfish, sacrificial love.
Yes. I often ask myself, and I ask other people on my show, how can we be better humans? And you answered that question. Look at the role models. Look at Ruth,
Yes. Oh, they're there. And they were normal people. They were no, they had, I'm sure they had their little picadillos. I don't know what they were, but they had them, and they had their moods and all that. I mean, that's human.
Yes.
But that didn't dominate them. In spite of it all, they lived. I mean, I remember my mother in the book I talk about on a personal level. My mother died when I was a kid in middle school,
Oh,
and she had
too
a
young.
massive cerebral hemorrhage. Was in a coma for over a year, and literally in that time, when I look back on it, I realized that for me and for my sister, and I'm sure for my father, he's gone home to glory, so I can't ask him right now. But I know for both of us, we navigated the death of our mother because there were people around us who loved us through that.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped us transition. They held us
Yes.
accountable. This wasn't soft, sentimental love all the time. We were held accountable. We still had responsibilities, but we were held and embraced by love. One of the women I tell the story of is Josie Robbins, who became a second mother in time to us. She didn't have to do that. I mean, she
Amazing.
she wasn't after my father or anything like that. I mean, she didn't have to do that. And she's 80, in the mid 80s. Her birthday's actually tomorrow. She's in her mid 80s. Now she's still in my life.
Beautiful.
Love.
And your grandmother in the
And
kitchen,
my
I heard.
grandmother. Oh yeah, about the kitchen. Oh yeah, yeah. My grandmother was in her mid 70s.
Mm.
When her daughter, my mother, had the cerebral hemorrhage and eventually died. And here this woman turned around and helped to raise two more grandchildren in her mid 70s. I've seen people do this, and they became greater because of the energy of love that was flowing through them. I
Yes.
saw them become greater. And I can tell you the day I was there and privileged to be at the royal wedding,
Oh, beautiful.
those folk were there.
Yes.
And even going all the way back, people who were my slave ancestors, whose names I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
somehow they were there
Yeah.
because something they did made it possible for me. They did something that created a context for me to be.
I'm
And
getting
it's
a little
my
emotional.
job to do something to make
Beautiful.
something for others.
Yeah.
Sister,
And
we
that's what
can all do that.
we need to be very open and kind to one another right now. And I feel like that is what your book, one of the strongest messages is to be open and accepting. And I
Yes.
know, you have a huge role in that.
I pray so. And we each can do it. That's the thing. We are not helpless victims of fate unless we just want to be.
Right. That's right.
We can be different. We can help this country live out the ideals on which it was founded, which it has not lived up to. But those ideals, the ideals of freedom, of justice, and of equality for everybody,
Yes.
those are noble ideals. Those are worth living for and dying for.
You bet.
They're worth it. And
As a quick aside, I want to tell you that's why I started this show. You're probably thinking at the beginning, what kind of show is Get the Funk Out?
I love the title, though.
Thank you. It's because
Tell
I
me.
was in my own funk. I had lost a dear friend of mine end of 2010. And quickly, then I lost my dad to cancer. And I thought, okay, I need to heal, but how can I give a platform for other people to share their stories? But
Yeah.
I am so happy you wrote your book. I know we have to wrap soon. And where can people find out more about it?
About the book, I mean, it's available anywhere. Anywhere. Everywhere from the local community bookstores
Okay.
to the chain bookstores, the Amazon online, Barnes and
Okay.
Noble. But the local community bookstores, they need that support too, all of them.
And anytime you want to call back in, I know you're so busy, but I would love to continue this conversation.
I would be happy to. I really would.
Wonderful. I'm going to reach
Thank
out.
you for what you're doing.
Thank
Will
you.
you reach out and I'll put the word out. I would be happy to
Fantastic.
talk.
Have a beautiful
Anybody who's
day.
trying to help us all, I'm with you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.